All right, looks like we're ready to go, and it looks like that we are, I hope, recording now too. My name is Penelope Hines. I'm the director of the Chamber of Commerce here, and leading our presentation today is Logan Owens. And Logan is the office manager here at the Chamber of Commerce. She's been here for 2 years now, and she is the brains behind all of our marketing materials that you see online or any invitations that we do. Logan is the one that does all of these for us. So I'm going to mute myself now and let Logan be the one to teach us all about digital marketing.
Good morning, everybody. So like she said, I'm Logan Owens, the office manager at the Chamber. I'm a 2019 graduate of Troy University. My bachelor's is in hospitality management with a minor in promotions and advertising. Promotions and advertising is super dear to my heart. I love getting to promote small businesses. It's just something that I really enjoy doing and help getting them some advertising going. So today I'm just going to talk about some digital marketing for small businesses and some tips to get y'all started in kind of a new platform potentially. And so getting into digital marketing can sometimes feel like you're diving into the deep end, especially if you don't feel as though you have a very creative mind. It can be kind of intimidating. So what I'm going to do is kind of help you be a little bit more creative, stay on budget without paying for a super expensive design platform and things like that. So I'm hoping this will be helpful for y'all, that y'all will get to incorporate into y'all's businesses. So something to just think about before we dive in, it's a quote that I really enjoy, especially the first part of it, is nobody starts at the deep end. Nobody has all the answers before they begin. And even better, getting going is probably cheaper and easier than you might think. So don't feel like this is completely out of your reach because the program that I'm going to talk about today, for the most part, makes it easy for us. And so as we get started, I want to talk about some tips and things that you need to think about before you start your graphics. And first of all, that is you need to set a goal for your graphic. For example, if you're trying to inform clients or the public of a new service or product, and then if you're trying to reach a different demographic group, whatever that goal is, that needs to be set before you ever get started. The reason behind it is those things really tie into the things that you choose to put on your graphic, the colors you choose, the fonts, the sizes, the details that you add to it, things like that. All of that is incorporated into setting, into making your graphic. And so if you know what that goal is, it helps you kind of get those things started. Secondly, you really, really need to know your audience. And so, for example, Omni Agency is looking for people to move to our area, people that are trying to sell their houses or either, grow or downsize, whatever the case may be. And then like a clothing store like Roots or Cobwebs is targeting, women majority of the time, ages 16 to 65, roughly, probably. And so with those, middle-aged to younger women, you've got to get those eye-catching pieces that's going to draw their attention to whatever you're trying to sell. If you don't understand your business audience and who you're trying to reach, you're probably going to struggle to kind of deliver that message that's relevant enough to resonate to them. That's what you're trying to do. In any graphic, any post that you put out there, you're trying to get a message across that sparks interest for someone to buy your product, use your services. So you've got to know who you're trying to reach. And then lastly, another tip is know your brand. Whether you sell the cutest clothes in town or you've got the best haircuts and products, you've got to know your brand and what you're selling, or what services you offer. And so be sure that you know what that is, because your brand is how and why your customers choose you over somebody else. And so that's super important. So I'm going to ask this question: out of these three, which one to you is more eye-catching? And obviously you don't have to answer that question, but for me, the one that really catches my attention is the middle. And the reason being is it has super bold, crisp lettering. The colors draw me in. I have one, I don't just have one picture to look at. You know, I've got several there that draw me in. So I have come to find out through my years of marketing on, you know, social media and things like that, people don't really read the text. So like right up here in this one on the far right, you've got, you know, several pictures of homes, then you've got some text. On this one, you also got the text at the top. Most of the time, I have come to realize people love to look at pictures. And if your picture has text, the people are more prone to look at those rather than just your text at the top. So in the just listed graphic here in the middle, you're able to immediately show an interested buyer two of the main rooms of a house, which, you know, people look at are the kitchen and the living room majority of the time, and then the outside, obviously. And so you're able to show that immediately, and then also give some details. So down here, you know that it has been updated throughout, has new roof, new air conditioning unit, new furnace, you know, things like that. You know automatically what this real estate agent is trying to sell. And you know exactly who's selling it. Here, down here in the bottom, it shows you that this company is selling it, how to get up with them, that kind of thing. And so those are super important details that you don't have to read a whole bunch of text for. You know, it's clear, it's concise, and gives you some easy points to see. And so I'm going to talk about, you know, the design tool that I use for all of our graphics, and that is Canva. And so Canva is a graphic design platform built with simplicity and the user in mind. And so when I say simplicity, basically, I'll show you in a few minutes, you know, inside of Canva, but basically they do templates that are, you know, to start with creating anything from social media posts. You can do business cards, resumes, wrap cards, flyers, whatever you want to do. They have a template for you to kind of get started, so you're not starting from scratch. And so, like I say, you can create anything you'd like: business cards, wrap cards, graphics, the list goes on. And it brings in basic graphic tools to the general public, you know, so that the ones that are not super creative like myself when I started, or, you know, you, if that, you know, if you qualify for that, it gives us a tool to start. And so they have different options that are great for really anybody's budget. There's a free version that gives you all the templates that you could probably possibly ask for. And then also, you know, different fonts and things that are free that you don't have to worry about. And then they have the pro version, which is what we use here at the Chamber. And basically the difference in these plans is you get more fonts, you get free stock images from a library that you don't have to pay for, background stuff. I mean, you get what you pay for, basically. And so if I were starting this, I would try the free version. And if you see that there's some fonts or design things that you would like to utilize but can't because they're not in the free version, then upgrade. You know, you can always go up or down. And so signing up for Canva is super, super easy. This here on the screen is just the login information, so you can sign up with Google, with Facebook, or with an email like normal. It's super, super easy. And then when you do log in, it starts with your Canva dashboard. And so when you design something, it automatically goes to your dashboard. Canva is does a really good job about saving things. So if you open up, like, say, a social media template that's there, and you're like, maybe not for me, and I'm going to change to something else, they go ahead and save that work in progress, so that if you come back to it and say, well, you know, it's not half bad, I'm going to try it anyway, you haven't lost it. So they do a really great job of that. That's one of my favorite features because I go back and forth a lot. And so in Canva, you design anything, and there's thousands of templates to use from. And so if say you're wanting to do a birthday card, for instance, and you see in the invitation, there's in the template stocks, the invitation size is not really what you're looking for. In that, you are able to customize your sizes if you'd like to, all that good stuff. And so I'm going to kind of show you some of these elements before we dive into Canva. Your dashboard menu talks about all of your designs here. The things, if you're collaborating with the team, Anne Marie and I with Main Street do this all the time. She'll send me something and work on it for her, and I'll send it back to her. And so that's how we do that here with the shared with you. You can create a team if you've got several marketing partners within your organization that you'd like to kind of create that network with. That's how you do that. And then also your brand. So I'm going to talk about that for a second. Your brand is something that's super important to your Canva account. The reason being is you are able to upload your logo and your branded fonts, your colors, things like that, so that you are able to design cohesive design. So everything looks the same for the, not necessarily the same, but you've got a cohesive design work so that it keeps everything consistent. And so that's something that's super important, so that as soon as you start a design, whether that's for social media or maybe a rack card for your business or whatever, you've got those design colors and fonts so that you're not going off the beaten path, basically. So on to layout, and so that's more about your brand here. And so that's just kind of how you do it, your brand color, your logos, things like that. So on to layout, when you get started, this is kind of what it looks like here. You have the different options. You pick one and you just basically get started. I'm going to show you that in just a few minutes. And then into your element spot. So you have a bunch of free photos, grids, frames, shapes, lines, literally anything you would want, into like charts and icons, things like that, to kind of show you some graphics for your business if that's needed. So this is all stuff that you're able to utilize in any of your graphics. And then obviously your text. If your brand is set up, it's going to give you a default text that will match your logo. You can stay in that font, or you have got tons of thousands of fonts to choose from. And so in this panel, it gives you text fonts that work well together. The reason they do that is so that you don't choose two that don't mesh well. And what I mean by that is, say we're trying to sell a piece of property, and you've got cutesy font at the top, but it's a serious graphic that you're trying to create. You're really needing more of those crisp, clear, bolder fonts to catch people's attention. But if you're a hairstylist, then those cute, fun fonts that works for those. So it kind of gives you some ideas to keep your design cohesive and pair well. And so I'm going to move into Canva real quick. Let's see. I'm going to try to share desktop one. All right. One second, guys. Here we go. All right, y'all should be seeing my Canva account now. And so what I'm going to do is briefly go into some of this a little bit more in depth, not a whole lot, but just a smidgen more. And so let's see. What I'm going to do is up here at the top, you've got templates. And so I'm going to just create a Instagram post for you guys real quick to kind of give you an idea. And so if you're in the search bar and you type Easter, for instance, And so you've got an Instagram post sized specifically for an Instagram post. So as you know, many of you probably know, Instagram is very peculiar about what size that you put on there. And so it's sized perfectly. You don't have to mess with it. It's done for you. And so as I scroll, you're seeing all of the different options that are already completed. And all you would really have to do is change the message, basically. And so how you do that is choose one that you like. And so I'm going to just choose this one here. Use this template. And so as it comes up, you see that all of this can be changed, moved, utilized. And so as I was talking about earlier here in the layout version, that's what all of this is over here on the left-hand side of your screen. And so if you see all, this is all of the different options that you can choose from to change this if you'd like to. I'll turn that down just a smidgen. And so anyway, all of this can be changed to something else. If you have a specific message you're trying to put out, all of this can be changed. And so you click on a text box, and up here at the top you can change what font you'd like it to be. And so I uploaded some Easter fonts because I did a post for Anne Marie for her Easter egg hunt with her Main Street members. And so here I'm going to just change that to Easter chick. And so I'm going to still do sale in that big bold lettering because you want that to be what people see the most. Yes, they've got the Easter egg, so they know it's immediately Easter, but you want them to know that you are having a sale. And so you look here, get as much as 50% off, whatever, whatever that detail needs to be, it's easily changed. You just type it in there and you're good. And so all of those you click on, you can move. If you'd like different elements to it, you go to the elements tab that I was talking about earlier. You've got shapes, frames, stickers. So if you like things that are animated, we got that covered. And so, you can put all of this stuff on Facebook, online. And so how you get it to your desktop, there's a spot up here that says download. And so since this one is animated, you go down here to GIF, and that is what creates the no sound. It's easier to put online than say the MP4. But if you'd like it just as a picture, you also have those options up here as well. So it is super easy and user friendly. And so I was talking about earlier the styles and the brands. So here in styles, it kind of gives you at the top your brand kit. And so our logo is the gold color with the grays and the blacks. And so if you go in here, it changes the entire look of your design to match those logo colors. And so they've also got pairings here that give you some options so that you're not starting from complete scratch. And so here, if you look, and I'm going to click this color here, it changes it all over again. And so up here, it says all changes have been saved. It automatically does that. So you don't really have to worry about clicking the save button. If you want to get away from it completely and try something else, if you go back to home, normally it is right in here with your designs where you have generated that, like I was talking about earlier. And so it like I say, it's super easy to navigate and get around and get started. So in your templates, if you search real estate, for instance, they have got templates upon templates of options that you can use to get started. And so if you click on one, like I was saying earlier, really put your own picture in there, put your details, you're good to go. And so uploading images, you just go to uploads, you find your media that you would like. You can get it from Instagram, Dropbox, any other device, randomly on your computer, wherever you'd like to, for it to be. And you just upload that. I'm just going to upload this random something. It comes up here, and then you just click on it and it comes to your your design. So it makes it super simple, to use. So really, it's one of those things that I can talk about forever because I've used it for so long. But until you really dive in, it's easier to do rather than just talk about for the most part. And so what I'm going to show you also is where you can go to see tutorials if you need any of those. So up here on the home page, it's Canva, Home, Templates, Features, and Learn. So if you click on the Learn button, it has got courses that you can look through to figure out how to get started, designing with Canva, presenting with Canva. If you need to do presentations, they have those as well. It also can show you how to start your events, whether it's through posters, things like that. It really shows you how to get started, more so than what this presentation can also. And so even down here for resources, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, it gives you font combinations, photo editors, logo maker, things like that may be beneficial to your business. And so it's a free logo maker, so you can start with your custom design and start from scratch if you need a new one. And so they have all kinds of options to kind of get you started on that. For instance, if I needed to, be a wedding photographer, here you go. So that's kind of where you can get started. It also, kind of gives you some videos. It has
welcome to Canva Design School.
Right. It has text, videos, things like that to kind of get you started. Yeah, so that's kind of a quick overview of Canva. If you've got any questions at all, I am here to answer those. I am going to put my slide up with my email address and the office's phone number. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'm always open to those. I love Canva and love helping businesses design. So just let me know.
Okay, Logan, you did a great job. We do have one question in the chat, and if anybody else has a question, if you'll type it in the chat too. Judy wants to know, can you create a brand for yourself that saves for your business and create for another business as well at the same account? And you can talk on about
Yes, you absolutely can. So Penelope, are you still seeing my Canva screen? Yeah. Is that correct?
I see everything.
Okay, fantastic.
Well, I see the presentation question.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And so I'm going to move into home, and Judy, I'm going to show you that. So if you go in here to brand kit, you can, I have all of those brand logos. So those are the ones that I work with majority of the time. And so if you like to, say I've got the chambers here, but you need one for your personal business, or for your, whatever, or another business, you just go in here and add another logo. And so we'll add whoever, if it'll, yeah.
And we have multiple different logos, as you can see, too, different ones.
Right, we have
different things, and they're all saved on that too.
Yes, and so in here where it says brand fonts, you can upload those fonts. You can add fonts, and so you can choose from these, or if you have specific ones that are for your business, you can upload those as well. And so, yes, if you've got multiple businesses that you need brands for, it can take care of that easily.
Logan, can you talk to them just a minute about the importance of putting our logo or their logo on everything that they make?
Yeah, absolutely. I sure can. So people use the same graphics over and over again. People are starting to use Canva. And so, like, for instance, this springtime sale, if you don't put yours on there and it's just general springtime information, it's easily taken from your website or your social media and used for something else. And so it's important to put your logo, your brand, your slogan, whatever, on that, so that it's for you specific. You don't want somebody randomly taking your tagline or whatever, but they could because it doesn't have your information on it. So it's super important to do that when you're creating, even if it is as small in the corner and, you know, not super, you know, visible, you still want it on there somewhere. Do we have any more questions?
It looks like that's all of the questions from the chat room. I do want to remind everybody that this is being recorded. So if you missed any portion of this, this will be available on our YouTube page, and we'll have a link also that will be on our social media pages and website. One more question I see from Sherry. It says, can you make a watermark?
So I feel as though you can. I've never had to. And so I feel like that would be something that, like I did here, you type in the search bar and watermarks come up. And so I feel like it's similar to what your logo would be. It would just kind of be in the background. It's one of those things that you can take. Here you've got the transparency. And so most of the time watermarks are things that you just put over pictures or graphics or whatever, so that people can't use them again. And so if you don't want it super in your face, you can use that transparency button to slide and make it super bright or tone it down a little bit so that it's more of a watermark style, I guess, if that makes sense. But like I said, I've never had to use one. So, but that, you know, that's probably helpful for different things.
And that might also be something that's in the help section of Canva.
It probably is, yeah. You know, and some of those up here where I talked about the learn and then features, there's also that as well. So it, you know, it's just one of those things you may have to just kind of go through and see, can I do this, can I not? There's also a question mark here with your help center that if you type in anything, most likely something's going to come up, whether that's about uploading pictures, resizing, backgrounds, all the above. It has something. And then if you need to report issues, they also have that here. So it's, like I say, it's super user friendly.
Okay, Logan, I think you've done a great job, and we're going to wrap this up. Do you mind putting your contact information up again so that if anybody is interested, it has a question that they need answered, they can always call the chamber office, but they can email you directly too as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see. There we go. All right. Thank y'all so much, and we'll see you next time.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.